if you are an actor who is super frustrated with trying to balance how to do work as an artist with your day job or your night job, you're just like, oh my gosh, I have to be available for these auditions, but the auditions don't happen at the same time that rehearsals happen. When on earth am I supposed to actually be able to do work to pay my bills? This is an issue. This is an issue. Don't worry, because you don't have to work as an actor only when someone else says you can work. And isn't that just crazy that you can be extremely talented, but being talented isn't enough to get you work? I don't know of any other profession where talent alone is not enough to get you some kind of job. But that is the truth of acting. And so, one thing you can do is you can write a play. Now, if you want other ideas, if you're just like, I am not a writer, not me, it's okay. Check out one of the other videos in the series. I have a video about how to stage a play. Now, for this video, we're gonna focus on writing a play. And so, if you feel that you are not getting the roles that you want, sometimes you just have to create the roles that you want. And the great thing about plays and theater is that you don't have to worry about angles and shots, which is what you would have to think about when you are creating your own short film, feature film, all those things, right? And so, with a play, the audience is accepting the space that you've given them. That is the set. You may, actors may choose to have set pieces. I'm gonna bring in this couch. I'm gonna bring in a bed. I'm gonna recreate a whole living room in this black box theater on stage. This is all fine. However, as the writer, you get to control what's going to be part of this world. So you are starting from zero, right? And you're going to plant some seeds. So as someone who is writing the play, you can really take control of, well, how many characters are going to be in this play? If you don't have a large network of other actors that you want to work with, then you might just decide, I think I want this to be a one-person show. And so you could think of a character that exists in a published work of art. Especially if it's a character in the public domain, even better, because then you don't have to worry about anything. Like Winnie the Pooh is a character in public domain, right? And so maybe you want to create a one-person show from the perspective of Winnie the Pooh, as Winnie the Pooh gets ready for his day and goes on an adventure by himself. You may choose to have this take place outdoors. You may choose to have this take place in Winnie the Pooh's hole, cave. What does does he live in a honey tree? I don't know where this Winnie the Pooh lives. I know he lives in the 100-acre woods, but I feel like he's not just like roaming around in the woods. Like Rabbit has a home, right? Rabbit lives in like a tree or something and has the garden. What's up with Piglet? Why is Piglet in the 100-acre woods? Okay, so anyway, point being, you get to determine where this takes place. And because you have control over the characters and the set and the scene, you can structure things so that it is within your budget, which is amazing because you don't want to spend all of your money You don't want to spend a whole lot of time trying to come up with a whole lot of money to create this fantastic experience. And create a fantastic experience. There's nothing wrong with that. But you want to get to work as a actor. And so, in order to get to work as an actor, you don't want to spend a huge amount of time writing a very intricate play. Okay. Now, maybe you want to write a play where there are two characters and there is a pre-existing play out there that you love, but you can't afford the rights to license that play in order to do your own performance in that play. But there were two characters from the play that you find really fascinating, and so you are going to write your own play based on the lives of those two characters, maybe before the well-known play starts or after the well-known play starts. So you're focused on a different point in time. Now, why do this? Well, this gives you a built-in audience. So you're gonna have people who love the original production and are fans. You're gonna have people who are fans of that playwright. And so people who like the original production and like that playwright, those two groups of people are gonna be interested in your production. Because they're like, oh, I wonder, is it just gonna be about those characters? Is it gonna be in a style similar to that playwright? I wanna know more. And so being sure to create something that will garner an audience is crucial because you want people to see your work. Isn't that why you're an actor? Because you want to create things that hopefully give something back to the community, whether it is to inspire people or to make people think. Maybe you want to be an actor because you want attention, right? Or you want to be famous. Well, if you want to be famous and you're just doing plays that nobody wants to see, that ain't gonna really work, right? Like, you're gonna be the actor, no, you're gonna be famous for the wrong reasons. You're like, yeah, I heard that actor, don't go see their work. You don't want that to be you. Okay, so writing a play is great. You can also invite friends to do a production of a series of short plays where each actor has written their own short play and they will perform their own short play. And so now we have an evening of works. We have a series of plays. Sure, you could just have two plays back to back. But by having other friends have their own short works as well, your friends will hopefully, some of your friends that they don't know will come see the production. They will have friends and family that will come see the production. So now we have more people interested in coming to see this production. You have more of a kind of guaranteed audience built in. Now, with that being said, you want to make sure that the people you include in this evening of works are people who have plays and talent that will make the evening of work strong. You don't want to just be like, I'm gonna do an evening, I'm gonna do a play. You guys want to do plays? Yeah, let's all do plays. And then one of your friends brings in something that's just like horrible. You're like, oh, like you said I could do it, but it's not. Oh, okay, Timmy. You know, Timmy's play is horrible. And then now you guys get a bad review because Timmy's play was horrible and you didn't think to check Timmy's play before you let Timmy be in your show. You gotta think. Now, with that being said, you don't want to like suddenly lose friendships over this. So you do want to plan out, if I'm gonna do an evening of works and I'm gonna have an evening of works with friends, am I gonna have my friends submit ideas to me before we do this evening of works? Do I have my friends submit their full scripts to me before we do this evening of works? Do I not do this with friends? And instead, I put up a notice in my local trade publication inviting other actor writers to submit to do an evening of works. Now, in terms of what will you need once you have written this play and started performing this play, you're going to need a lot of the same things that you would need from my stage a play video. So you're going to need to figure out what the venue is going to look like. But again, you've written the play, so you can write something that really caters to what you can afford. You want to think about casts, which we've already kind of touched on. Is it good? Well, we really focused on like a 1-person, 2-person thing. So you can keep the cast small because you've written the production, but you can write something that has roles for all your friends. I mean, I've certainly done that where I've written something that has like 6 roles because those roles were important to me. And I'm like, okay, this person's gonna play this person. Ultimately, budget-wise, I was like, doesn't make any sense to put this on at this time, right? But you can certainly do that. You can also write it so that you don't need to have like lots of fancy costumes or anything like that. Really keep it in current time or something like 80s, 60s. So that way your friends don't have to go out and buy stuff, or you don't have to go out and buy a lot of costume stuff. And then using most of your budget towards your marketing, maybe printing some flyers, listing online, listing on your social media, maybe doing like little social media teaser clips, little like short video shorts to get people to like and show interest and possibly want to come see your production. And yes, you can still sell tickets even though you wrote that play. Some other things to think about is whether or not submitting your play, like if you write something really good, then can you submit it to a couple of publishing houses and suddenly become a published playwright? Oh, wow. So not only are you a working actor, but you're a published playwright? Oh my goodness. You so fancy. And as the writer, you can choose to have someone else direct it, which might be a good idea if you're also acting in it, because you don't want to be so close to your work that you have no critical judgment, or not able to tell whether or not it's like the production is good. It's also really nice just to have another person looking out for you. I know how stressful it can be when it's the day of the show and you have your checklist of all the things you need, and yet you suddenly realize, oh man, we still don't have the crackers, or we packed everything, but the place I picked outside is dirty, and so now I need to find some kind of garbage bags in order to throw everything away. Or it might rain, so I'm gonna need garbage bags or plastic to cover up all of the set pieces if it does rain, or all the costume pieces, or I have all the costumes, but the bathroom I was planning to use to change my costume in is locked. And so now I have to figure out, can I go change my costume somewhere else, a nearby coffee shop bathroom, but I just set up everything in this spot. Now I have to leave all my stuff. Oh, right? Just having anyone extra involved in that production is super helpful, because that person can watch your stuff while you go change your costume. Or if there's an audience member who is really loud on their phone during your production, you don't want to have to stop the show and be like, yo, get off your phone. Get away from here, especially if it's outdoors. Sometimes you just get like weird people. I'll be honest. In New York City, at least, you get weird people coming over. And some people just want to be rude. It's not fun, but you don't want to have to stop your performance to deal with that. So having someone who is involved to be able to keep an eye out for the things and be like, I'm sorry, we're doing a show here. Can you move on? Thanks, right? Even if you're indoors, you've rented that black box, and maybe someone comes in late, or maybe someone takes a phone call like during your show. It's just really good to have an extra person who can handle those things. I think I made that point. Okay, so You wrote the play with the idea of your budget in mind. You wrote the play with the idea of creating the character that you feel you can play and that you're going to be amazing at. You may have chosen to also try to get this published by a publishing company, which means other people can then request to license your play, put on that production, and they have to pay you a little fee, which is great. So it's a wonderful way to keep making money off that work of art that you created long after you're done performing it. And so if you're like, Ray, I am not a writer, no worries, because there are many other ways that you can get to work as an actor, and go ahead and check out the next video.